Welcome back. Maybe you've seen their work here on Outside Today, on greenlivingproject.com, or maybe you've caught one of their traveling film premieres. Rob Holmes and GLP are always busy, circling the globe, traveling, and shining the spotlight on unique stories of sustainability. Thanks so much for being with us, Rob.
Thanks for having me here.
So you do these great documentary shorts where you feature these interesting issues, everything from sustainable tourism to wildlife conservation. What makes the perfect GLP story?
I think for us it's issue-based. You know, I mean, our goal as a company is to educate, inspire, but also entertain people on relevant, important issues, to bring a destination, you know, if we've been in Africa or South America, bring that destination back and show people not just entertainment, but bring issues to the table that they can relate to.
Like what?
Like issues like women empowerment. You know, we were just in Africa and producing 6 new films, and women empowerment was just a constant theme that went across each one of the films. And again, we weren't looking for it; it just happened. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is a great film. That's a great story idea. Is when it's authentic, when it comes out from the work that we're doing. So I think for us as storytellers, we want you know, to bring out those stories, to bring out that passion that is driving people in these destinations.
It's just amazing. It sounds like you're always traveling the world. It sounds like you're living on the road constantly and telling all these great stories. Are there any that you're particularly proud of? I mean, any stories that really stick out in your mind?
I think what I'm most proud of for us is the impact that we see from people. You know, when people see our films at an event, on television, online, you know, when you see the drive and the energy come from a viewer who says, boy, I want to go to that destination, go and volunteer or help out, that to me is where I feel like we're making an impact. The issues we cover, wildlife conservation, sustainable tourism, women empowerment, you know, climate change, education. There's so many great stories in there. I can't say I like this the best. It's more the people, too, that we meet. And we're meeting such authentic and true and people that are dedicating their lives to important stuff that without their dedication and hard work, a lot of change would happen.
And you are fresh from travel, right? You just got back from Africa.
We just got back. Africa is very true to me. I went to school in Kenya, and I actually worked in Botswana years ago, so I've spent a lot of time in Africa. It's where we started in 2008, our production work. Again, similar to traditional GLP format, we covered a broad range of issues. So looking at sustainable tourism, looking at wildlife conservation, but then also looking at wildlife corridors, poaching, fair trade coffee. So we really covered, ultimately, what we hope is going to be a really unique mix of films that we'll end up marketing and promoting, you know, nationwide across North America.
Great. And I think we have a clip of your trip, don't we?
We do.
All right.
Africa, a land of exotic landscapes. Whose people are rich in history and culture. From sunrise to sunset, experience adventures like no other destination. Wildlife, teeming with diversity. And communities full of intrigue. Whether on safari in the Serengeti or trekking through the dense forests of the Congo, immerse yourself in Africa. In 24 days, we produced 6 new films across the Congo, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. These films are about the people, the journey, and important local and global issues that make great stories. Join us for an adventure you will never forget.
Those are really amazing images.
Beautiful.
What did you learn while filming in Africa?
I think you learn about all the exciting stories that are out there. You learn about so many different cultures and communities. You know, we were interacting with the Maasai in Kenya and Tanzania. Then we're hanging out with the Mbuti pygmies. So there's so many different people and communities you connect with. And I think the educational part that GLP does is so crucial. You know, we have this unique hybrid, we produce short films, but our distribution and our marketing in the films is so unique. And I think that's the exciting part of what we do is, we take these films from Africa and elsewhere and promote them in schools nationwide. This year alone, we're in over 200 schools around the country. We have a full curriculum, lesson plans that we do. We have a student film project, film competition for students. So there's engaging students, educating them, using, really embracing, we're in a media-friendly world these days. Everyone has some kind of phone that is playing video and on the internet, and let's embrace that, because that's what kids want. But if you can have a film that touches on key issues that are in a country like Uganda or the Congo, bring them into that classroom, that global perspective is so powerful, let alone talking about important issues that they can really take home to their family and their community. That's what's so powerful about producing these films and showing them to students around the world.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, they're so beautiful. It would be a shame to go all that way and spend all that time and meet such interesting people and then have no one to show the films to. So that kind of model of going into schools and sharing, I think that makes a lot of sense. And the reality is most people are never going to go to this part of the world. So this is a way to kind of connect people.
That's what is really exciting, is bringing these films and stories to people directly. We want, the best issues, the best stories, because that's really our goal, is to push the stories and the issues higher.
Sure. Well, speaking of stories, it looks like you've brought in quite a few for us to talk about. Can you tell me about some of the things we have here on the table here?
Yeah, so this is part of the fun part of travel, I think, is to experience a local destination, and not to bring too much home. I've brought some really big items in the past, but I think for this journey to Africa, I wanted just to show a couple things. This is actually an Mbuti bow and arrow. And the person wasn't actually looking at selling it. It was off to the side, and it was being used. And so I said, "That's what I want. It's authentic." And then you get, the arrows themselves, and this is a work of art.
It's amazing.
And who made that?
Just the same guy.
There you go. There's an arrow for you.
Thanks.
So the Mbuti pygmies in the DRC used to be nomadic. They would move around. Now they're stationary. They're not going anywhere.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, it's definitely debatable. There's pros and cons with that, but I think it's about balance. I think all of this. We spent a lot of time also with the Maasai. They used to be nomadic, and they're stationary now. It's about balance in accepting the modern society and some of the benefits it has, having a more diversified income. There's ultimately, I think, a balance with everything. Their lifestyle is changing, the world is changing, but they still are embracing, really some of the core parts of their culture.
I love all this stuff. This is great. This is the part about travel that's so fun, right? You bring back your souvenirs.
It's a way to connect with people, and it's a way to put your money to use. You're in these rural communities. They love the income. It helps them, and it's fun to bring some memories home.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. When we come back on Outside Today, we'll have Nick Heil for today's installment of Bodywork. That was great.